Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, today we are going to talk about the Special Counsel's office, provide some updates on that because there's some new reporting, and we're going to talk about a question that somebody sent to me. And we're going to kind of throw it all together because there's a lot of new information that has come out over the last 24 hours or so. And it's interesting. So, when we talked about the Special Counsel's office before, we said we weren't going to find out anything really until stuff started leaking out about new subpoenas or whatever. That is now happening. In December, a flood of subpoenas went out. A whole bunch of subpoenas went out. What's interesting about them is that some of the people had already been subpoenaed before, and some of the questions and some of the stuff that the Special Counsel's office is looking at. In particular, they're looking for information related to Trump-affiliated PACs, the money. And they're looking for communications related to the voting machine companies. Those two things in particular are interesting because they don't necessarily have much to do with the cases that we are aware of. It may indicate that Smith has opened an entirely new line of investigation into possible financial crimes on top of everything else. We also have reporting saying that people are being called before the grand jury at an accelerating pace, and that some people are being called back to talk to the grand jury a second time. And the word that was used to describe those second appearances before the grand jury was intense. When the special counsel came on board, there were a lot of people who viewed it as a sign that it was going to become political and Trump would avoid accountability. There are also people who thought Smith was being brought in to kind of wind everything down. That is not what this information says. That's not what this looks like. To the contrary, it looks like the investigation is actually expanding. And these actions are not in line with letting Trump go. These actions are in line with actually trying to prosecute him. So we're going to have to continue to wait, but the information that came out is painting a picture of a special counsel's office that is looking into every aspect of it and might have even opened up a whole new line of investigation. It's worth noting that if Trump world, if there are a bunch of communications that suggest they knew that their claims were false and they were raising money off of those claims and saying it was going to an election defense fund that didn't actually exist, that might not be legal. And that may be what Smith is looking into. We don't know that, though. So that's the news. There's more people going before the grand jury. Some people are being called back. It is intense when you're in front of the grand jury, particularly the second time, and there are a whole bunch of new subpoenas. And the questions in the subpoenas kind of paint the picture that they might be looking in a entirely new direction. Now, going along with this, I got a message from somebody asking me, hey, is this a smoking gun? Because I guess MSNBC called it that. And it's testimony from McDaniel. No, it's testimony from the January 6th committee but it's McDaniel talking about a phone call that started with Trump. Trump called her and then put Eastman on the phone. And then according to the testimony, Eastman then asked for her help in facilitating the alternate electors. Is it a smoking gun? No. It's testimony. It's not a smoking gun. It's more like Trump's thumbprint on a shell casing, though. It is very important testimony, but a smoking gun is generally physical evidence. It's a big deal because this would directly connect Trump to that plot. But I don't know that I would go as far as to call it a smoking gun. Super important. If this goes to court, you will definitely see that material again. But it's not something that 100% makes the case. It's a big building block in the case, though. So that's the new information. That's the new reporting about this. All of this leads me to believe that Smith is actually looking to prosecute. That this isn't going to be something that is kind of wound down or drug out so long that nobody cares anymore, or they're looking for some other way for Trump to avoid accountability, protecting the institution of the presidency, all of that stuff. None of this reporting matches that idea. This reporting matches the idea of a special counsel's office looking to secure a conviction. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good day.